a 1931 REO Flying Cloud.
This is pretty cool. You mind if I start it up? Ready? Go ahead.
Oh my God.
This one guy brought in a first edition Rolling Stone magazine. Yes, the very first one with John Lennon on the cover. Rick's immediately intrigued, and honestly, who wouldn't be? It's 1967 counterculture gold in near perfect condition. But here's the twist. The seller only wants $350 for it. Cue the stunned silence.
Got something to show you here today.
What's that?
We got a first edition Rolling Stone magazine.
It's still a big deal to get your picture on the cover.
Oh, it'd be great to get your picture on the cover of Rolling Stone.
As Rick inspects it, he's practically giddy over the nostalgic Pink Floyd ad and that cheeky little line in the back. Rolling Stone sucks. The vibe is so vintage, it might as well smell like patchouli. Rick nerds out on its San Francisco origins, while the seller casually mentions he found it cleaning out a desk. Talk about treasure in the trash.
Did you get this?
I found it when I cleaned out a desk at the place I used to work at.
So this is the first one ever? First one ever?
Negotiation time. The seller asks for $350. Rick counters with $300. It's not flashy, but hey, it gets the job done. Corey throws in some practical advice. Frame it, display it, make it shine. The seller agrees, walks away $300 richer, and jokes about not losing it in Vegas. Honestly, fair point.
Gentlemen, Rolling Stone sucks. I love it because it's just so 1967. I mean, look at the ad for Pink Floyd at the Fillmore.
Next up, we get one of the strangest symbols of college football rivalry. Ohio State player pendants shaped like pants. You heard that right. The seller explains it's an inside joke from the days of long-lost Ohio pride. They put their pants on one leg at a time like we do. Even Chumlee chimes in, proudly proclaiming he puts his pants on two legs at once. Classic.
Well, I have a couple of these Ohio State pendants awarded to the players when they beat Michigan.
The seller's aiming high, $2,500 for two pendants he bought from a collector. Rick gives a quick rundown on gold filling and points out some green tarnish peeking through. Translation? These aren't solid gold, buddy. But still, they're rare since only winning Ohio State players ever received them.
Went to the pawn shop today to sell a couple of Ohio State player pendants. They're very valuable. I think they're worth around $3,000 for the...
Here comes the haggling. Rick opens at $1,500. The seller balks. Rick pushes it to $2,000 firm. The guy thinks, weighs his odds, and finally agrees. $1,000 per pendant isn't too shabby. Rick knows sports memorabilia takes time to flip, but for something this exclusive, worth the risk.
I bought those off of a private collector. He bought several of them, and I bought a collection off of him a few years ago.
Now for the artsy wildcard, Picasso Etchings. A woman strolls in trying to sell two pieces her mom bought in the 70s from an art dealer, and Corey's first take looks like something Chum could have drawn. Ouch!
Hey, how you doing?
Hi. Hey, I wanted to see if I can sell these Picassos.
Okay.
I'm gonna go look around.
So where did you get these?
Rick isn't convinced yet. One's a dove, one's titled Poor Robbie, and the seller openly admits she knows nothing about them, just that her mom thinks they're worth $1,000. She even jokes she grew up hoping to outdraw Picasso. Same girl, same.
First, and that's why it's worth money. Picasso's not the first guy to draw a dove.
I come into the pawn shop today to try to sell my two Picasso etches. I think they're in pretty good condition.
Rick brings in an expert and things get real. The specialist confirms the pieces are legit and breaks down Picasso's print history. Turns out, Poor Robbie is a known but common piece, and the dove's value depends heavily on condition and provenance. The seller waits nervously as Rick decides whether they're worth any real cash.
Earlier, a woman brought in two Picasso etchings. Anything Picasso could be valued. So I invited my buddy Brent down to the shop. Tell me what these things are worth.
Meanwhile, in the ultimate "what did I just watch" moment, Rick and the old man meet a guy selling his family's 1931 REO Flying Cloud car. And yes, it's been chilling in the family since the original purchase. That's a car with some serious generational drama.
Company, which later turned into Oldsmobile. He got bored and wanted to open up another car company, so he opened up the RE Olds Motor Company, and then...
Rick dives into REO history like it's his favorite bedtime story. Turns out REO was named after Ransom E. Olds, yes, of Oldsmobile fame. It's full of OG parts, original distributor, original carburetor, no power steering, but still a beast. The guy wants $40,000, but will settle for $25,000. Big gap.
So how'd you get it?
It's actually been in my family since the original purchase.
That is so cool.
Here comes Rick's real test. Does it run? The old man compares it to an architectural box, whatever that means. And Rick worries it's gonna be a restoration money pit. Still, the history, condition, and legacy are too good to ignore. Rick clearly wants it, but not at the seller's top-end price. Cue negotiation tension.
One of the top automakers in the early 20th century in the United States. They made everything from cars to buses to fire trucks.
We circle back to the Picasso etchings as the expert finally delivers his pricing verdict, around $1,000 total. The seller's thrilled. Rick offers $600, hoping to flip them for a solid margin, but the seller hesitates. After a little back and forth, they strike a deal. Mission accomplished, and Corey still isn't impressed with Picasso's bird doodles.
What's going on, Dan?
Morning, guys. How you doing? So I'm a car freak. How long have you had the car?
And to wrap it all up, the most intense moment of the episode, Rick tests out that 1931 REO. The engine coughs, sputters, and then it runs. Rick smiles like a kid on Christmas. Deal's sealed. You just know that car's gonna get the showroom treatment.
I got a 1931 REO Flying Cloud.
They put a lot of style when they built cars back then.
Think about someone rolling up to a pawn shop in the middle of the desert with a one-man submarine. Yeah, you heard me right. The seller, who looks like he just pulled this thing from someone's backyard, because he did, strolls in asking $25,000 for it. Rick's face? A cocktail of disbelief and curiosity. You do realize we're in the desert, right? This is Pawn Stars at its most absurd, folks.
A one-man submarine.
Wow.
I wanted to get 25 grand.
You do realize we're in the middle of a desert, right?
Rick, being Rick, wants answers. Turns out this thing's a Star Quest sub from the 1980s, and the guy got it for free, just took it off someone's lawn. I mean, this is peak garage sale energy, but underwater. The sub is rusted, missing parts, and probably hasn't touched water since the Reagan era. But Rick sees potential profit in this aquatic jalopy.
What is this? Oh, we're coming to look at a sandwich.
Yeah, it's not a submarine sandwich.
Now comes the offer. The seller holds his ground at $25,000, but Rick isn't playing around. I'll give you $2,000. That's a nosedive of Titanic proportions. After a bit of back and forth, Rick bumps it up to $3,000 and the guy takes it, probably just relieved he doesn't have to lug that thing back. Don't tell the old man, Rick warns. Oh, Rick, secrets never stay buried, especially submarines.
You do realize we're in the middle of a desert, right?
Well, yeah, but there's lakes and stuff.
Cut to the old man finding out about the submarine, and oh boy, the rage is real. Corey calls him out. It costs $10,000 just to test it. And of course, Rick tries to spin it. It's not a boat, it's a submarine. Classic Rick logic. The old man ain't buying it, literally or figuratively. Drama overload incoming.
It doesn't work. I already know that, so we don't need to test it, do we?
I thought we made a company policy we would.
Then, out of nowhere, we shift gears into Revolutionary War history. A guy walks in with what he claims is a commission for a soldier dated 1778. He paid $10 for it at auction and now wants way more. Corey's intrigued. Rick is cautiously optimistic and they call in an expert because no way they're flying blind on 18th century paperwork.
Using said
Company in our... Why do you keep on correcting me?
Expert time! And guess what? It's authentic. A real Revolutionary War promotion signed by New Hampshire officials, complete with those weird old-timey F-shaped S's. Rick's eyes light up, but the seller's poker face is strong. This could be a serious payday, but it all comes down to names on the dock and condition.
Who knows? It could be somebody important.
Hopefully.
All right, man, let me give him a call. Oh, appreciate it.
Thanks.
Before we get the price on the commission, it's time for classic Pawn Stars chaos. Chumlee tries negotiating for a Roman suit of armor. His strategy? Offer exactly what the seller wants. Big Hoss nearly faints. Chumlee's about to drop $2,000 before Corey jumps in and drops a reality bomb. This isn't even real armor.
So where'd you get this?
I bought it in an auction.
How'd you pay for it?
$10.
And yes, Chumlee puts it on, helmet and all, claims he's ready to slay a dragon. Honestly, he looks like an extra from a community theater version of Gladiator. The seller's heart is shattered when Corey offers only $300. His dreams of Caesar-level riches, gone in 60 seconds.
Do you know any of these signatures on them?
I did a little research on the internet, but I wasn't able to find anything.
All right.
Cue family drama. Rick misprices a Carson City coin. Should be $500, he lists it for $50. The old man gets roasted by Rick and Corey, and the man is furious. I've been doing this for 30 years, he grumbles. Corey claps back. You can't even see the CC on the back. You could cut this tension with a knife.
He says boats are losers. I can't believe my dad's gonna get away with this.
That was a stupid buy.
Which brings us to the eye doctor scene. Yup, the old man finally goes in, and it's comedy gold. He can't read the eye chart, misidentifies dots, and throws shade left and right. "You are blind, blind, blind," Corey chants. "Shut your lip," the old man shoots back. Family love, Pawn Stars style.
Well, I'd like to sell it today if it costs
Okay.
a cut.
Did you have an idea what you wanted for it?
Well, I was thinking about $75.
Back to big items. We meet a guy trying to sell a table saw that weighs almost 3,000 pounds. He needs cash and fast, asking for $7,000. Rick wants to see it work, but the guy doesn't even have the converter to turn it on. Red flag much. Rick offers $4,500. They shake hands, but now someone's got to move the beast.
It's in pretty rough condition. It can be fixed, but that costs money. I'll give you 50.
Chumley and the crew show up for pickup, and chaos immediately ensues. No one seems to know how to lift it. There's yelling, panicking, and a real fear someone's going to lose a finger. Travis gets roasted by everyone. Chum tries to take command, and it's basically forklift bedlam.
I was always fascinated when I saw him in the movie.
R2-D2 never spoke, so he only did clicks, beeps, and whistles, so it was...
Finally, we're back with the cannon, the pièce de résistance. Rick brings in his expert to evaluate Chuck's 1890s Hotchkiss, and boom, it's 100% authentic, used in Native American conflicts, and only 57 were ever made. Rick's eyes practically bulge out. Chuck, grinning like he's already spending the payday.
Oh my God.
And now, the moment of truth. Does it fire? Rick wants to test it before dropping 30 grand. Chuck agrees. The cannon fires flawlessly. Boom. Chuck's face is pure relief, Rick's is pure joy. $30,000 well spent. I mean, just look at that grin. He owns a working cannon now. Who wouldn't be thrilled?
Goldfield was at one point the tallest building in Nevada and the only building in Nevada with an elevator. It was opulent for the day.
This episode kicks off with a guy holding a literal Sidewinder heat seeker, casually announcing, "This is an infrared heat seeker for the Sidewinder missiles." Rick's eyes pop out of his skull, asking the obvious, is this legal to own? And the guy's answer? I'm not sure. Folks, that's not exactly comforting.
Is it legal to own these?
I'm not sure.
My 86 Buick Regal. This thing is awesome.
Rick is visibly shaken and intrigued. Turns out the guy's dad bought sealed military surplus containers for $25 in the 70s, and boom, surprise missiles inside. I mean, talk about government clearance roulette. Rick's like, this is crazy, and honestly, same. But here's the part that screams red flags. They were supposed to be destroyed, yet somehow ended up at auction.
As he's loading them into the truck, he noticed some were heavy. He opened it up, and these were inside.
This is crazy.
The seller whips out legit Department of Navy documents, and Rick reads them like he's scanning for the word felony. Even the old man gets in on the inspection and confirms, looks like it's good to go. We're talking Cold War tech here, 1964 guidance systems designed for the Russians. You could cut the tension with a declassified combat knife.
It's really interesting, I'll tell you that. What I'm trying to figure out is,
What the hell are you going to do with it?
I mean, are they worth any money? I mean,
Rick's still hesitant though. Is it worth $20? Is it worth $20,000? Is he about to end up on a no-fly list? Classic Rick move. He decides to call in an expert before the feds come knocking, because when in doubt, outsource your legal liability.
let me go give someone a call and we'll find out what's going on with it.
Great.
Cut to the next scene and plot twist. A guy strolls in like it's Casual Friday with an original Playboy bunny outfit. Yes, ears, cuffs, ID badge, and all. Rick, clearly stunned, jokes, just want to make sure you didn't wear it. And the seller's like, well, I did. Okay, didn't expect that twist.
It's a Playboy bunny outfit
Okay.
that my girlfriend gave me.
Why would you?
This outfit isn't just vintage, it's rare, iconic, and includes a training manual on how to wear the ears. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Rick drops some Hugh Hefner trivia while eyeing the sequins, but he's here to make a deal, not join the bunny club. The seller wants $3,000, Rick counters with $1,000, and we're off to the haggling races.
I've seen them listed on the internet for $4,000 to $6,000.
I know that's what they're listed for, but what are they getting?
The seller tries to hold the line at $1,500, citing online listings, and Rick's like, yeah, but what are they actually getting? Classic pawn shop checkmate. Eventually, they lock in at $1,200. Everyone's happy, except probably the poor guy who has to inventory the bunny tail.
I'll go 12. That's the best I can do.
Okay, I'll go 12.
Deal.
We finally settled on $1,200.
Then the lot gets louder. Enter a man selling his 1986 Buick Regal, freshly souped up and painted like it's heading to a low-rider convention. Chumley's instantly in love, which is never a good sign for the budget. Corey, ever the realist, calls it what it is, a Buick Regal with a paint job. Ouch.
This thing is awesome.
The Regal, you hit the block, man, you're it.
I want to hit the block today.
The seller gives the sales pitch of the century: custom seats, V8 swap, Cadillac pillows. But Corey isn't buying the hype. He values it at a measly grand. The seller's tires alone are worth that, and he pushes hard for $2,000. You could feel the air conditioning cut out with all that heat.
Those pillow seats inside?
Yeah, you know, we go way back with pillowback Cadillacs, so we took the Cadillac seats out and put them in the Regal.
Negotiations heat up. Corey offers $1,500 and the seller's like, nope. So what happens next? Chumley decides to drop $2,000 of his own cash like he's in Fast and Furious. Pawn shop drift. Cue the gas. Rick's face is basically screaming, not again, Chumley.
I ain't doing it. You want to buy yourself a car? I'll tell you right now, $2,000.
Chum insists on hearing it start. Seller turns the key. Vroom. We got ignition, baby. Deal's done, Chum gets the Regal, and honestly, the joy on his face? That's a man who just bought a midlife crisis for cheap.
Shit starts up, it's a deal.
All right, let's see.
Pop that hood.
Meanwhile, Rick's missile guy is back with a weapons expert, and this dude knows his cannons. He confirms the missile piece is the real deal, Cold War vintage from the Hotchkiss of Paris line. Only 57 ever made. Collector gold, baby.
The heat-seeking device for an F-board.
Wow, I'm a U.S. Marine Corps F-18 pilot with 17 years of experience.
But Rick wants proof it can actually fire. And sure enough, the expert checks the bore and says it's shootable. Then comes the price bomb. This bad boy is worth $40,000 if it fires. You can see Chuck, the seller, nearly levitating.
They showed me documents and paperwork, so they're legal to own it. It's very rare to have that outside of a military base.
Rick says he'll offer $30,000 if it fires. So they take it to the desert for the big moment. Cannons aimed, triggers ready. Boom! It fires! Rick's grin stretches across state lines. Chuck's $30,000 richer. We got ourselves a literal bang for the buck.
Cal, and then we expanded it to missiles, and we were the first in the world to do that.
We kick things off with a supposed Confederate-era knife, dramatically called an Arkansas toothpick. The guy claims it was dug up near a Civil War massacre site, but Rick's immediately skeptical. The handle looks a bit too good, like it survived 150 years underground without even a splinter? Yeah, right. Rick plays it cool, but he's not buying the fairy tale. He tells the guy the style matches the era, but the condition raises red flags. So Rick calls in his blade expert. Because, again, if this was real, we're talking serious Civil War money. The tension is high. Is it treasure or trash? Back to that Confederate knife. Rick's expert shows up and says it might be real. Kind of. The blade style is right, the steel's legit, but the handle is too pristine for something supposedly buried for 150 years. Value? Around $500. If it were confirmed real, $1,500 tops. That Civil War fairy tale just turned into a $400 reality. Meanwhile, Rick and Corey head out to look at a 1970 Honda Z600. It's so tiny you could park it inside a smart car. The seller says it's the first one off the boat, which sounds cool until Rick lifts the hood. It hasn't run in 15 years, and now they're talking about starting it with ether. Corey looks like he's watching a grenade get primed. The seller shoots high, wants $4,000. Rick nearly chokes. The thing needs a full restoration and they offer $400. The seller laughs, tries to sweeten the deal by throwing in the can of ether. A can of ether! Rick declines and they part ways. But honestly, that little car is probably still sitting in a field somewhere, dreaming of its prime. Next, a man struts in with a Rolex allegedly owned by Bernie Madoff. Yes, that Bernie, the Ponzi scheme king himself. Rick's ears perk up, but not in admiration. He ripped off old ladies, Rick says flatly. Let's just say Madoff isn't exactly Al Capone in the cool criminal department. The The customer says he paid $32,000 for the watch at a government auction and wants $75,000 for it. Rick's eyebrows basically leave his face. He peeks at the dial, and it's way too clean for a 1936 Rolex. Cue suspicion. Rick takes it to the back for a closer look. Back in the lab, Rick confirms the dial and hands have been replaced. That pristine look totally kills its value. What could have been worth $35,000 drops to $10,000 instantly. The seller pleads, says it's got that Madoff pedigree, but Rick isn't buying the villain collector hype. No deal. Then things get loud. A guy comes in with a vintage boxing bell signed by Sonny Liston. At least he thinks it's signed. He rings it full force in the shop, and the old man who's nursing a headache looks ready to throw hands. Corey offers $400, hoping the signature's real. They later bring in a signature expert who gives the whole thing a hard nope. The autograph is fake. The old man gloats like it's Christmas morning, roasting Corey with every word. Told you so. Never sounded so satisfying. But hey, they still have a cool bell. Right after that, a customer wheels in a massive 1957 arcade bowling game. It's the size of a canoe and hasn't been turned on in 40 years. The seller wants $6,000. Rick practically gasps. He says he'll need $2,000 just to restore the thing, then offers $1,000 flat. Surprisingly, the guy agrees. The machine's vintage shell is solid, but the guts are fried. Still, Rick sees profit potential. And honestly, a bowling arcade game from the 50s? That thing is dripping in cool points. Just hope it fits through the door. By the end, Corey eats crow over the Sonny Liston bell. The knife seller walks out a little lighter than he hoped, and Rick narrowly avoids making a very expensive Madoff mistake. From ether-fueled Hondas to fake fighter signatures, this episode was a pawn shop circus of epic proportions.